thought I was recording, and I wasn't. But I'll just jump right in where I was going to say. It's interesting to me that God has given me a big heart for my recipients, and just their trials every day. They're just hurting so much, and it's very seldom I actually get to hug a recipient, but I want to. I mean, like today at work, there was this lady, and she was very nicely made up, very thin, and she was just sobbing, and she was standing by a trash can, and I went over to her and I said, "Can I help you?" Because I remember so many times when I was so depressed, I would just cry and everybody would ignore me, or worse, Ron would get hateful. And so I went over and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, No, I'm just, no. She just kind of trailed off, and I said, "Well, would you like a hug? I'll be happy to give you a hug." And she said, "No, my stomach hurts." And I said, "Okay, well, take your time." And another coworker's like, "No, if you're sick, you need to go to the bathroom," and kind of like moved her along, for lack of a better word. And maybe that was the right thing to do. I don't know, but she might have just lost a baby or something. You don't know. So, but people like that, they just follow me home sometimes, and just the drivers today, they're just. I mean, I was comparing it a little at work today, that we have a few things in common, but I think they have a lot worse than I do. So, on the job, they have it worse than I do. So, I get more, I don't know. I can't really say. I can't always have a candid discussion with people on the bus, because there's other people listening, there's cameras going, but I'm not going to compare. But if I did, I would say the bus driver's having a harder time than I am. So, it's just not easy these days for anything. And there's another guy, a regular who rides the bus. He works at a restaurant, and he's just hurting so much. And I've given him packets. That's all I can do. I gave him another packet tonight with help from above in it. And he said thank you, and he took it. But, all I can really do at the end of the day is pray. I mean, I can hand out my packets and pray and try to be a light in the darkness. And one thing I do find the Holy Spirit working in me very lately. It's just been the last month or so, I think. But just loving on people who hate me at work, who try to sabotage me, or the one who physically attacked me, and just to show them as much mercy and grace as I can, because God has shown me so much mercy and grace. And maybe one day they'll stop and think about it. So, that cross around my neck had something to do with my behavior, and that it was a positive association. Because I know one thing, the devil loves to discredit Christians. And that's one thing I really worry about in my faith walk, is that one day I'll act like a butthead and ruin my witness with my recipients, my coworkers, whoever. And that scares me. And that's... the lights are on at the Rat House. Okay, I'm still on the other side of the street. So, now I had some things come today. Now, I have been told very nicely that if I'm going to wear things that fit well, particularly dresses, I'm going to need some help. And 2 different people have told me this. And so they had a few items on sale at Walmart.com, and I got one of each. And they supposedly came today, and my air filters came today, and that's great, and that air filter is going right in the AC. I also found some 12-hour Sudafed, so that was even better. But when I get home, I need to take all my stuff in the house. I need to check the mail. I need to take my stuff in the house. I don't have anything perishable that needs to go in the fridge. I had the chicken with the paprika and the mustard. It was very good. I didn't really taste the spices, but it had a good flavor. So I think, the crock pot does cook out the seasoning sometimes, but it's a good overall flavor, and it had a ton of vegetables in it. So I was happy about that. And then I took my iron pill with it. And one thing I forgot I was going to do is do some research on when is a good time to have a dairy product after taking your iron pill. Because I definitely, for lack of a better word, I'm committing to donating blood again, then I'm going to need to be taking iron on the regular. Because I've been anemic, it is not fun. And I do not like going to the blood center and getting turned away, which has happened 3 times because my iron was bad, low. So, and I've been told if you take iron and have dairy with it, that it doesn't absorb as well. So what I do is I take the iron with a vitamin C tablet, and that works for me. But at least, my numbers worked like 14.2 when I went, so that's really good for a woman. And so I need to do that research. I need to get the air filter put in because that's going to help a lot with my allergies. I got the MERV 11 kind, which gets most of the allergens, particularly cat dander, which is an issue. And I need to put some drinks in the freezer because my landscape guy is coming tomorrow. And he's going to be working in, feels like 110. I don't know about other people. I'm not having somebody over to work in my yard without a drink, without a lot of drinks, and some kind of snack. So yeah, I'm going to make sure that happens. We have a system where I pay him, anyways, we have a system. And I told him I'm going to do the thing, and he's like, oh, okay, so he knows what that means. So that's good. And yes, the AC is running again at this house. Now my AC's been running a fair amount lately, but it's not super cold in the house. It's just that hot out here. So it's my laundry. Somebody's doing laundry. I got a cheap dryer sheets or fabric softener. Not a good smell. Ugh. It smells like a dollar store. So, although I like dollar stores, but not, glad I don't have a migraine. That would put me off the cliff. And, yeah, so I have a few things I need to do. And I need to eat something and take my pills before I go to bed. After I do the research on what's good to do tonight. Because I like taking the iron pill with my dinner because I'm mainly a meat and vegetable person on my dinner at work, or that's the easiest for me. I can just get something out of the fridge, or like the lentils, and that has a little bit of rice in there, so it's a complete protein, and so that'll work. But I keep an eye out. But it's a Thursday night. It's not going to be super crazy. There's these 2 women got on the bus tonight, and they were asking questions like, why are all you guys wearing safety vests? Because almost everybody on the bus, the driver and all the passengers, were wearing some kind of safety vest. Why? Because I don't want to get run over. I just like, oh, well, she never even thought about that. That if you're walking around at night, you would want to be visible. So, and then she got off in a bad area, and I have a feeling that they're not up to anything legal, but that's their problem. So, but I remember my first place with Ron. Ron had a scanner for the police, and he would listen to it sometimes until it basically started scaring the hell out of him, so he stopped. But he was listening to it one night, and the policeman said, "Hey, there's a Mercedes over here. I'm going to check it out." And dispatch is like, "Why?" And he said, "What is a Mercedes doing in this neighborhood?" And that was a very good question. Another time, Ron almost got shot. Now, that's a funny story. He was wearing a white shirt and black pants. And he used to do the laundry for me, which is great. I love that. And he would go take it down to the laundry room. And he would, put it in, and then he would, move it to the dryer when it was time. And then he would bring it up, and then I would fold it. And so he was going to move it into the dryer, I think. And it was fairly late at night, like 11 o'clock at night. And there was a police chase. And Ron was listening on his radio. And he's going, yeah, get him. And then he came out of the laundry room, and he heard them say, "Oh, there he is. White shirt, black pants, right?" And Ron's like, "Yeah, get him. And all of a sudden, he felt this heat on his face. He had no vision at all. But he could feel the heat from the light they had on him. And this guy yelled, "Freeze." And Ron realized they thought he was the perpetrator. So he screamed the only thing he could think, which was, "It's me." And the officer said, "Oh, wait a minute." And he's like, "I know this guy. He's the blind guy." And they're like, Go back to your apartment." And Ron's like, "Yes, sir." And he ran upstairs, and that was that. But, yeah, he could have been shot. I got all kinds of stuff on the porch. This is crazy. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we will say they are firming foundations. Yes, I have never been a fan of that stuff, not even on my wedding day, but I don't want to egg people out either. So, if it's just like taking myself out to lunch or something, I can do that. I don't think I would wear it to work though. Okay, yeah, I got the bag there. That's going to be the garments, and this is the air filters. So that's good. And I was smart enough that I left my light on. I'll leave the light on for you. Oh, and I need to text everybody and let them know I made it home because I was delayed, and I didn't want anybody sending up a flag. One night I forgot to text everybody and let them know I was okay. And when I woke up the next day, there were like 10 text messages on my phone. One of them was progressively escalating. One of my friends, and she was very, very upset. So I don't want to do that. It smells like cat poop in my house. Hopefully it went in the litter box. All right. Ooh, yeah, that is strong. Woo! Okay, yeah. Ooh, somebody must have just used that box. Okay. This, I will not be unboxing this, but I will, I think, try it over what I have on already, just to see, one, does it fit, and two, does it actually do anything. And this, I might save these for tomorrow, the air filters, and do like a putting in the air filter video, because I think it's very funny watching me try to get up off the floor. I can do it, but it's not pretty. So that is is it for the night. I just need to put my vest on the door along with the badge. Well, the badge. I call it the badge because I had a security badge at the post office for 20 years. I had to pass a background check, which I did. And I can say it now, I had custodian permission. I could go anywhere in that building. But I turned in the badge when I left, even though everybody said I should keep it. But it basically said in my contract with them that I would turn it in when I left. So I did. Hi. Hello. Are you going to poop and run? Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, I do not get my orange boy sometimes. Alrighty. So that is it. Alrighty.